I was listening to the wrap-up show last night, and you said something. I don't want to misquote you, so I'm just gonna say I think what you said was like, as a leader, you don't want Manny to be like that leader in that clubhouse. Is that fair? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I
Okay.
I don't know exactly how I said it, but
Right.
if Manny Machado is the unquestioned leader of your team, probably not going to win a World Series.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
how I view it.
Okay.
The reason why the Dodgers said, yeah, no thanks, after having Manny Machado for a half a season.
Well, they were in a different situation. They had guys playing those positions.
You're
You're
going to
telling me
tell me
they
that
didn't. You're telling me they didn't want Manny Machado.
you're also telling me
I
that they wouldn't want Manny Machado over Justin Turner?
I mean, Justin
Because that's what
Turner was a good
happened.
player. Yeah, he was.
They
Well, he
chose
was
Justin
under
Turner.
contract. He
They
was
chose
under
Justin
contract
Turner.
already, though. That's the
They
thing.
chose Justin Turner over Manny Machado. And it's not like they didn't have the money because they gave the exact type of contract a couple years later to Mookie Betts.
Yes, but I'm saying is what they're going to move Justin Turner to the outfield. Like they had Corey Seager there. They had Justin Turner. What were they going to do? They were going to have Manny go play shortstop again for the next like decade. I just don't think that was in their plans. They knew that Manny was going to be a short-term thing because they were trying to win a World Series that year, fill some type of offensive hole, and they were going to just go with Justin Turner because he was under contract, and Corey Seager, he was under contract. And then they'd find a way later because they had Gavin Lux coming up, and he was a prospect, I believe, at that point in the system, and they believed in him. And then they were just going to go find a way. I think that was a big part in it.
Look, if you have Manny Machado on your team and he's everything that you thought he was, you find a way to put Manny Machado on that team. But they didn't. They chose the other path. They chose right. They chose Mookie Betts a couple of years later, which was the guy that they were going to give that big contract to. Because at the time, the Dodgers, I don't think ever gave out a $300+ million contract.
Right.
And Mookie was the first guy they did that to. It's kind of paying off for them.
Okay. Is Manny a good leader? I know John asked that last night. Is Manny a good leader?
When things are going absolutely perfect, Manny's a good leader. But that's the thing about sports. It's never always going to be perfect. It is never always going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's never always going to be, I'm having the best year of my career. There's always going to be ups and downs, especially in baseball, the sport that you fail in so much, but still could be a Hall of Famer, right? I think that when the going gets tough and when things are not going the way that he wants them to go personally, I do think that affects everybody around him. I do think that is something that we have seen. Like, you just look at his numbers, his 2019 and 2021 and his 2023 seasons for Manny Machado standards, those are not good years. How did the team do in those years?
Right. Yeah, not good. Yeah.
Not good. So when he had the short 2020 season, when he, was on pace to hit like around 40 home runs that year, right? If it was a full season. And then obviously last year when he finished second in MVP voting, how did those seasons go? 2020, it's a weird whatever year, but you get my point. Like, when Manny goes, the team goes. When Manny does not play well, the team around him does not play well.
Okay, but you could do that with you could do that with Bryce Harper, you could do that with Aaron Judge, you could do that with a lot of different guys in baseball. My question is Manny a good leader? It's obviously a question that we can't fully answer because we're not in the clubhouse. We're just looking at on the field, in the dugout, whatever. And for me with Manny, it's hard for me to say he is a great leader because of some of the things you point out, but I think it's fine for him to say that he is a good leader because I look at the things like leading by example. There's some quotes where it's like, yeah, probably should not have said that. And I think Joe Musgrove is probably the better leader in terms of the quotes, if that makes sense. And there's different types of leaders, I think, in that clubhouse, and I think that's good. But Manny, I think leading by example, him fighting through injuries. Now, is this the best thing for him to fight through this and continue to play this season? No, I don't. I think he should be shut down. But leading by example like that and playing through things, finding a way, rehabbing his butt off last year, to get back because he knew he needed to be there for his team when other players would be off for 3 weeks, a month, probably more than that, right? Doing things like that. Now, yes, there's things like you pointed out, the winning, all that, but again, like you could point to a bunch of different players in baseball with that same thing. So, yes, there are flaws to Manny, but I'm not gonna go as far as you in saying, like, that's not the guy that I want leading my clubhouse. If there's one leader, okay, I could buy that, but we know that there's not just one leader in that clubhouse. We know there's not just one leader in every clubhouse in baseball. There's multiple leaders, and leaders can do different things. Musgrove can do something different than Manny. Crony can do something different than Manny. The other leaders can do something different. It just hasn't worked this year, definitely, and the play is obviously at the forefront. That is the main reason why. That's all we should really care about at the end of the day, but when things aren't going well, we try to find a reason why things aren't going well and all of that. But, yeah, I guess I slightly disagree about Manny. Is he a good leader or not on that?
And you're right. I am I in that clubhouse? Like, no.
Right.
Do I hear things? Yeah. Do I see things? Yeah. I just hear quotes and I see
Mhm.
things and I correlate his play to the team. And I just also look at his numbers. Like, he had an opportunity to really turn that corner and change the perception of Manny coming up clutch in the postseason in the NLCS last year, and he didn't do it. And Bryce Harper, his counterpart did. When he was with the Dodgers, he had a horrible World Series. I don't think he had a really good postseason either. So I'm just looking at Manny Machado is a fantastic Hall of Fame caliber player
Mhm.
that I personally think, I don't know if he's a guy that I would want to be the number one player on my team expecting to win a World Series.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely fair to say. Yeah. And I think that there's also a lot of other players in baseball that you could say that same thing
Yeah,
about, that other fan bases are
absolutely.
having that same
Yeah.
conversation about.